Welcome, everyone, to Cinema Regulars, the movie review show where we see so many movies in theaters that the employees know us by name and they don't ask us what movies we're seeing, they ask us how many. Now, today we have kind of a mixed bag going on here. We'll be starting off with the brand new Smile 2, sequel to the original Smile, which we did see in theaters when it first came out.
Mhm.
But of course, that was in the before time, before we did the podcast.
EP
Uh,
before podcast.
yeah, BP, yeah. And then after that, we'll be following up with Saturday Night. And then we will be finishing off with Rumors.
Absolutely.
Pretty interesting lineup here. But as usual, guys, if you feel free to skip around the video, use the timestamps below to skip ahead to your favorite video or just want to see the rankings, feel free to do so. And without further ado, Isaac, if you could lead us off with the description for our first movie, Smile 2.
Absolutely. About to embark on a new world tour, global pop sensation Sky Riley begins to experience increasingly terrifying and inexplicable events. Overwhelmed by the escalating horrors and pressures of fame, she must face her dark past to regain control of her life before it spirals out of control.
Oh, Spiral?
Oh, Uzumaki?
Uzumaki reference? God, we're stupid.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'd like to premise this with saying that we were really, really skeptical going into this
I was
because
extremely skeptical going into this.
Me too. Because we were so pessimistic about this movie because the very first version of the trailer that they dropped, they had the drug dealer that she went through, like the guy that she gets the smile curse from. He
Yeah.
picked up his weight and he smiles at the camera or whatever, and he bashes his face in with the bar weight.
Mhm.
And when that happens, it's got like the goofiest
Bonk!
cartoony boom sound effect. And I'm like, come the fuck on. You did not just use bonk sound effect number 3 from the Tom and Jerry audio files. Come the fuck on. Are you serious?
Tom and
And
Jerry
then like
on bonks. That's funny.
and then like and then they got like the gay guy in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the trailer had a clip of him as the smile demon whatever
Yeah.
walking down the hallway, and he's doing like the fruitiest smile, and he's like mincing down the hallway at her like that's supposed to be scary. I'm like, really? It's not. What are you
No.
doing? And like
Like this movie was
the,
extremely
tr-
just odd. The trailer made
the
this movie
trailer looked so
weird.
goofy, but I'm so glad to say that it was far better than our both of our expectations.
It was better than I expected.
It's not perfect, it's not fantastic. I still think
The
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 first
problem
Smile was way better.
Yeah, the problem that this movie, the entire franchise has as a problem is the fact that you
You
know the
keep
formula.
bringing this up. That applies to every other horror franchise. You know the formula of
True.
Nightmare on Elm Street, you know the formula of Friday the 13th. That's a non-issue.
I guess that's fair. But like each time is going to be I guess the pull as a franchise, like if they're going to make this into a franchise, which it seems like they're going to try to, the goal of the franchise will be A, finding new ways for people to come up with to try and
L-
like get rid of it.
Literally Final Destination.
Well, yeah, and then it's just them like the poll for each movie is going to be okay, are they going to get out of it this time or
How
not?
are they going to try to juke the system this time?
Yeah. Like
Because
it but
that's exactly what they do.
yeah. But anyway, beyond that, uh the one thing this movie does very well, this franchise does very well, I hate it, but at the same time, I have to give them respect for it. They do jump scares very nicely. I do have to say that. Like
I will effectively. I do not get jump scared a whole lot anymore. I've seen way too many horror movies and way too many Blumhouse horror movies.
Yeah.
I can't even recall the last time a Blumhouse jump scare got me. I think maybe when we went to see the ultra screen of the Red Door Insidious, and that's just because it's
Yeah.
loud in there. I
Yeah.
think that was the last time a Blumhouse movie got me. Not to say this is Blumhouse, but like I'm saying, like
Yeah.
scares really don't affect me anymore. Like they'll get you from time to time, but you're sitting there right next to me. You see, I don't fucking move
No.
anytime.
I hate
Just
it that
got
they get me. I don't like it. I hate the thing I hate about jump scares is that it feels like the movie's going, "Ah, I gotcha." Like,
well, that's what a jump scare is.
I know, but like I
It's
want to
not
be
horror. You're
actually
not
scared.
scared. It's startle. It's a
Yeah.
response.
But
It's
in this
shock,
movie, yeah,
surprise, even.
in this movie they do it very effectively. Like they really do. Like
Yeah, it got me.
what's the one that got both of us really bad? What was that one? Was it the one where where they build it up for a while? I think the one that got me that made me angry, but looking back on it, I get it. Is there's one part where there's like a 5 minute sequence where it's her like going around the house, like her apartment or whatever, and all this, and you know a jump scare is going to happen. You're expecting it, and I thought the thing that fucking got me is after like 4.5 minutes, I went, okay, like I think they're just they're doing the thing where they're like expecting you to expect one, and it's just like they're not actually gonna do it. They're just gonna cut to the next scene, and I
Oh, was
relaxed.
it
And fucking 5 seconds later, it gave us a jump scare. I went,
my
motherfucker.
I remember what it was. We did see this a week ago. We're getting the
Yeah,
podcast kind of late
we're a
because
little,
it's
yeah,
been Halloween. We've been busy.
yeah,
But it was the award ceremony or the charity thing that she was doing, and then she started seeing her dead boyfriend, and then he
yeah.
disappears, and then she looks around and she looks around and she looks around and he's not
It's
there,
not the scene I'm
and then
talking
it's
about,
like,
but I
oh.
know this one. Yeah,
And then the old lady comes up and to like put her hand on her back, and then it's that guy, and that you got pissed at that one, and then she just throws the bitch off the fucking
yeah.
thing.
I was like, okay, so this is the part where our viewpoints of the movies completely changed. Were completely different because
It's not.
I thought she fucking killed that woman. I thought that woman was dead for the rest of
Why
the
would she
movie.
still be on tour if she committed
I don't
fucking
know.
manslaughter?
I don't know. I just thought she was dead. Like,
You thought she was dead because they had like tripod fucking
yeah, I
posters
thought they were
signs
like, and
and
everyone was
everyone was
dressed in
in
black.
black suits
So I was just like,
because they
oh
were at
shit.
an event. They were still in that building. She was
I
still
didn't think
wearing the
about
same
it.
dress and
Any,
smeared makeup and
but
shit. It was
anyway,
like two
moving on
minutes
from that.
later.
So the one thing that this movie does differently from the first one is there's a certain point where you don't know what's real and what's not anymore. Like the last movie, they made it pretty clear what was real and what wasn't real. Like for a majority of it.
I
Like
think they handled it a lot better though, if I can
that's
interrupt you
fair.
there, because it's through the psychologist viewpoint. It's coming from like a mentality or like a
Hmm.
psychology type of angle, and I think the bit where she calls her psychologist, her therapist over to
Yeah.
talk, and she's sitting there talking to her for like 5 minutes. They're talking about this whole thing, uh, and then it turns out that's not even her, and then the demon smiles at her and vanishes. I'm like, that was pretty good. That was really good. It had me going because it's completely under the radar. You're not even gonna expect it.
Yeah.
But this one does that in a whole grand scheme. It's like, oh, the whole time this thing
Yeah.
was going on through the whole movie and you didn't even realize. And it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
there's
what?
large sections of the movie where you're like, "Oh, that wasn't real." And then there's a certain point where it goes, "Wait, this whole section here, like from the time
Yeah,
this
yeah,
thing
what was it?
happens."
There's a point in the at the end of the movie where they like reveal something wasn't real or whatever, and then you're just like, oh, what?
Yeah, cuz
Wait,
you're sitting there and you're like, "Wait a minute. This is how much of this what happened, what didn't happen? Like, huh? Where's the cutoff here?" Cuz
exactly.
it is debated because there's the part where she wakes up in the hospital. And like you
Oh,
can,
there's not. It's not debated. It's just not immediately clear. You have to like kind of like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I get.
She wakes up in the hospital,
Yeah,
and you know from then on it's not real.
yeah.
But it's there's also like the
It's
part
like
before
so.
that,
What is?
because there's also the question of like, oh, is this character, like, if this character isn't real, is this character even real? 'Cause you had fucking
It's true.
you lost your shit when the fucking dude from House was in there.
Yeah, fucking
Freaking
Taub. I'm like,
fucking
man,
Taub
come
was in
on,
that was in this shit.
come on,
Like,
dude.
it was good. But no, I will say one thing you said after the movie, I do think rings true. They did go a little over the top with some of the scenes. Like the one at the big ending scene where the thing
Yeah, not
like
a fan.
kills her and all that. Like, I mean, cool you were going for that, but like it's whatever. And again, I do have to appreciate that they don't use an insane amount of CGI in these. They don't
They
go,
do when they bring them the monster out at the end. They
yeah, and
always
that didn't
do.
look weird. That didn't look, yeah,
But
it was just,
they kept it pretty good. And I gotta
yeah,
say the gore in this movie was phenomenal. I think a
it
lot
was
of like
so good.
like the actual brutal deaths were actually done very well and looked
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah,
So
so
I gotta get them props for that.
yeah, the other thing was there was one scene, the scene I liked most in this entire movie was the one where she's in her apartment and she
All right, you're
looks
already
up.
wrong.
It's my favorite scene. I don't care what you say.
No, you're already wrong.
What?
You're wrong about your own favorite scene, dude. The opening scene.
Oh, right. Right. You're correct. You're correct. I
No,
forgot about this.
talk about the scene you were
Okay.
talking about, and then we'll come back to
Outside
the
of this,
opening
okay,
scene.
yeah, outside of that scene, I forgot my second favorite scene in the movie, because this scene has stuck with me because I like the way they did it. She's in her apartment, and the demon starts messing with her and all that stuff, and she goes. I think it was she was trying to get her meds or some shit. But she ends up in her room, and she looks up, and she sees a whole bunch of people just standing in her closet, and then
Yeah,
she looks away, and when she looks back they're all closer. You don't see any of them actually move at this point. They're just closer, and like every time she looks away they get a little closer and a little closer. It isn't until she finally makes a full bore like sprint for her living room that they start
hmm,
moving behind her, but they're all like moving in unison. Like, I thought it was kind of cheesy in the trailer when you saw it, like all of them kind of like moving down the hallway, but seeing it in the
yeah,
context of the scene, it's actually terrifying. And then she gets to the living room and there's even more people there. And so she's freaking out about them because she's trying to get to the door. And like they're all sitting there and they're getting closer every time she looks away. And she looks back and there's the people that from the hallway that are now like stacking on top of each other. Like, that scene was actually kind of pretty terrifying. Like, it actually
yeah,
was. I
yeah. It was
I
pretty good.
gotta give him props. And then the dude just like sticks her whole arm down her mouth, and I'm just like,
Yeah, the CGI on that was not very good, but like
oh, but like the
the
implication of that scene.
insinuation, yeah, the implication was pretty good. Um,
But back to
but
the actual best scenes of the
the
movie.
actual best scene. Also, I thought it was very funny that you referred to her place as her apartment, as if it's not like a gold-plated penthouse.
True.
Uh, anyway, um, but really, I think the best scene of the movie is the opening scene where it's. I don't believe that it's one continuous tracking shot, but I
Oh
think a
no,
majority of it is
it
is.
almost is completely one
I
continuous
think
shot.
yeah, I think almost. I think there's a few cuts in it, but for
There's
the
a
most
few
part,
cuts
it's
from the
a
moment
big
he gets
continuous
in the
plot.
house. From the moment he enters the house, it is a continuous shot. I'm not even kidding.
Okay. Yeah. Our boy Kyle Gallner from uh
Smile one.
I was gonna say Strange Darling, but
True.
yeah,
Well,
also
that's the one
Smile
people
One.
would know because, like,
Yeah,
we are
Strange
big Kyle
Darling that
Gallner
we
fans on this channel. He's a good guy. He's
yeah,
a
I
good
think
dude.
he needs to get more like lead
Bro needs
acting
a
role.
better agent.
He's just a good actor. I think he's got some serious chops. He's really underused,
He
to be
does.
honest. But he is picking up where the first one left off, where he's trying to uh juke the system where you need to kill someone in front of someone else to have the curse skip over you.
And he's doing it in a
And
very smart way as well.
yeah, like he tracks down like serious drug dealers and does it to them so that it's
Yeah.
like, not an innocent person or whatever. Um and like he's like super desperate. Like it's day 6 out of
Yeah.
like the week, so it's like the his
7,
like
yeah.
his out of yeah, because he said like the shortest one was 4 days, longest one was 7. So he was
Yeah.
already like in the thick of it, and he was running out of time. But like the other guy who was trying to inflict the curse on ends up dying because they got
Yeah.
into a shootout. But luckily, the drug dealer that passes it on to
Oh,
the main character was there, and he saw it. So the curse jumped over, like off of Kyle and onto the new guy.
yeah.
But he still gets chased by the cops and crashes out of the window, breaks his arm, and
Well,
then
it
gets.
wasn't the cops.
Was it not the cop? No, it was
No,
the rest of the gang. That's what it
yeah.
was.
They showed up and they're
And
like,
then
"Who the fuck is this guy?" And he runs
yeah,
out.
so
Yeah.
they go after him, locks himself in the bathroom, bursts out of the window, breaks his arm, runs out into the street, and a super effective, like it can be really hit and miss to do this, but a super effective like hit by a car
Oh
moment.
yeah.
Like there's some times where you won't see it coming and then you just hit by a car and you're just like, whoa. But then there's times where
Yeah.
it's like, and you're out in the middle of the fucking street, so dude, let's take a wild fucking guess what's gonna happen. Yep, get hit by a car. I saw that coming. Everyone saw that coming. It was in the
It
trailer,
was in
but
the
like
trailer. Yeah.
they didn't kind of shy away from it. Like he
They
got
immersed
fucking
you.
hit on
Yeah.
screen.
They immersed you so well into that opening scene that I wasn't even
Mhm.
thinking about the trailer. Like I really wasn't.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
just happened and I went, "Oh fuck." Like and like dude's guts are all over the thing cuz like in the trailer you see
Yeah.
cuz like his blood stain from like being dragged across the thing by his car. It forms a smile and they use that in the trailer. Like you just see the blood smear. But like in the
Yeah.
scene, like you get up close and like up close to it, and there's like bits of his
Those
guts and
huge chunks.
skin and and you see him like literally like eviscerated from the stomach down, just like absolutely fucking grinded to paste into the fucking pavement. Like it was really good, and
Yeah.
like
I
dude was
if the
actually
movie was
prop.
just that, it
Dude,
would have
I
been
would
a 10
watch.
out of 10.
Dude, I'm not kidding you. If that would have, dude, that would be so
We should have
cool.
got we should have got like Smile
No. I just thought of
1.5
an
where
absolutely no,
Smile 2 should have been Kyle Gallner's story.
no. Like not even doing all of this shit. Like fuck a movie. Do this in a series of like half-hour shorts.
What?
Like shit like this. Okay, so like you could do a movie, but like shit like this where like he's trying to pass it on. Just that alone would have been really cool to watch. Like that was really cool to watch. Like he just does the next one. And then like if you could just have you could do so much cool shit of people either A trying to pass the curse on or B moments of the curse being passed on to more people. Like, especially now with the way this movie ends, they have like an entire audience of people. Spoiler alert. She doesn't live. But you have an entire audience of people that are now infected with this. And you could just do a bunch of little things. Like, because the universe is so huge now, it's not linear anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Yeah, I
this.
suppose.
So now you could do cool things like people
I d
learning more of
I
like
don't think they need to do cool things. Stop, don't give Paramount any more ideas.
fair enough.
You were just talking about how you hate that this is a franchise now.
Well, yes, but now that I've thought of the idea of like if you could have a bunch of shots like that where it's just cool shit happening, like people trying to
No,
do
they
it and
should
then
have
it failing.
made the movie all stuff like that.
Dude, they should have made the whole movie just following Kyle. Like I swear to God.
Is that not what I said like 2 minutes ago?
True, they should have just made no, but I mean, you know what
Exactly.
I mean? Like his whole journey of trying to track this dude down would have been fucking cool.
Yeah, instead of starting at 6 days after, it should have just started at the end of the first movie and then follow him the whole time, because he's a great actor, and I
He is.
really want to see like him how he handles the situation and how it leads to that, and then that would have been a pretty cool ending.
It would have been a
Um.
really cool ending.
Anyways, another thing, just a little side thing that I want to bring up here, especially coming hot off the movie Trap. Having another movie set around a pop star and her music is throughout the whole thing. In Trap, the Lady Raven, she's pretty alright at the music, but not so great at the acting. At least this
Yeah.
time, the whatever, I have no fucking clue who this lady is. I've never heard of her
Naomi
before this
Scott is
time.
her
I've
name.
never said, yeah, okay, Naomi Scott. I have no idea who that is.
I
You
totally
could pay
forgot
me,
who she
offer me
is.
$1 million to name a song. I would, no.
The
Put a gun to my head and say name a song. I didn't even know her name. No, I've never heard of this woman before in my life. But at the very least, at least she can act. She's not a pop
yeah,
star who's making a movie to
yeah.
launch pad her music career like
So
other
I totally
people,
forgot
but
about
like
this.
I'm not
Sorry.
done.
Sorry, continue. Sorry.
But at least they actually found someone who can act and not just put her in the movie because she can sing and because she's famous and has a following. But at least she can act. Like she did a pretty fairly good job.
So I forgot the name Naomi Scott. I forgot who that is, and it was like, oh, I didn't literally just now was like, what else has she been in? More recently, she
Nothing.
was Princess Jasmine in the Aladdin remake, which was whatever. No, what I know her from, she's in the movie Lemonade Mouth, and I love that movie, like actually a lot. It's a Disney Channel movie, but I actually love that
Say
movie.
so.
I totally forgot about that. Plus, she was she was, I believe, the Yellow Ranger.
In
Nope, she was the pink. She was the Pink Ranger in the 2017 Power Rangers movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, she was Kimberly.
Oh yeah,
I
finally
believe.
found something I recognize her from.
I believe. I
I didn't
believe. I
recognize her from. I have no idea who that is.
Kimberly the Pink
But
Ranger, right?
I did not register. Yes, yes, Kimberly's the Pink Ranger. I did see that in theaters, unfortunately, but it
I wish I had. I actually like that movie. I find that movie
was
fun.
all right. It was all right. It was
It's
not great a
stupid as
movie, but it
shit.
was all right.
Has the single most shameless product placement of any movie ever made, but it's still
Uh,
great.
incorrect.
Oh,
Incorrect.
what is your thing?
The Skittles in Shazam 2, you were there
Oh,
for that?
you're right. I forgot about that. I forgot about that shit. All right.
Isaac the Forgetter of Shit.
I guess I am the
I
forgetter
don't.
of shit. I'm ADHD as shit,
I,
bro. I forget all the shit all the time.
I'm aware.
All right.
Stuck up with you for 15 years, I'm aware.
All
Alright,
right. Do you
I
have anything
don't have a
else?
whole lot to say. No, I do not. Let us move on into the rankings.
Oh, wait, there was one
I'm.
more. There was one more I wanted to say,
Oh.
actually. The one thing
Fuck.
I do like is that uh the thing of him, the dude who hit his head, like they that killed him and killed himself and passed the curse on to her. I liked the gore they did on his face and the fact that
Yeah,
they made him like they did it very subtly this time, and I really like it because the whole thing is like they did it in the last one where it was like you saw someone like in the last one was you saw a patient kill themselves in front of you. You're gonna have trauma over that, you know? And it's the same thing in
yeah.
this one where it's like the thing they keep doing in the first bit of the movie is when it first starts messing with her, you hear like the blood dribbling onto the floor, and then and then she sees him, like he pops up and everything. And she does have this actor, I will say, because I think Critical said it in his video. But I picked up like I noticed it as well. She has that look of terror very well. Like she does that so well done. And but
Yeah,
anyway,
it was pretty good.
yeah, and like the way he killed himself was kind of silly, but like the way she kills herself cuz they don't show it on screen like her doing it, but she shoves the entire microphone into her fucking head. Like it cuts to her lying dead on the ground, and it's literally like it's a
But
whole
it's
ass fucking stage mic, and you see maybe that much of it. Like it is in her fucking head. Like holy
yeah.
shit.
And it was a microphone, so like, and it was filming the crowd, so the whole time, so it
Yeah,
was a microphone, so you heard like the
yeah.
sounds that what was happening pretty well. But yeah.
I was a little I was a little skeptical at first, like why are they doing a pop star? That makes no sense. But like the fact of it passing it on to as many people as possible makes sense now.
Yeah. Uh yeah, okay. So let's head on into the rankings here.
Yeah.
I was expecting something hilariously bad
Yeah.
because that's what the first trailer that they came out with was. It was hilariously bad.
Hmm.
But I'm pleasantly surprised. You know, this is a fairly strong 7 out of 10 for me. You know,
Yeah.
all the gore was done very well. You know, I still think the first one was a lot stronger than this, but I really liked the opening scene. Isaac, the podcast is over here.
Sorry. I was fixing something.
Uh-huh. Um, so yeah, I thought it was a strong movie. I don't think it was as strong as the first one, but it was definitely a lot better than I went in there expecting, which is a pleasant surprise always.
Yeah, that's fair. Uh I'm not gonna give it a 7. I was giving it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
It's definitely a very strong one. Like I think it's at the top of my sixes. Uh do I think like I don't know, it was just kind of the movie for some reason while it had its good merits, it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way that they made it in the first place as well. Like it was cool to see more shit. Like it was. Like they did it very well. I will say that. But it's just the fact that
Yeah.
it kind of didn't need it. It didn't need the second one. The first one ended pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I would have been happy. Like I said, like you said, I would have been happy with just the Kyle Gallner thing. Like get a little closure on that, and then be done there. But like I get what they were going for here. They did accomplish that. Like I'm not saying this is a bad movie by any margin. Like I probably would give this a 7 if it wasn't for my personal feelings about the movie existing in the first place.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Moving on to our second movie of the night, we have Saturday Night,
Absolutely.
being filmed on a Friday night.
Yeah.
How you like them apples?
Absolutely. All right.
Isaac, if you give us the description of that movie, please.
Tensions run high as producer Lorne Michaels and a ferocious troupe of young comedians and writers prepare for the very first broadcast of Saturday Night Live on October 11th, 1975.
Cool. I think we should start off with the strong points of this movie.
Yeah.
The casting was phenomenal,
Fucking
and
perfect. It was
I
so spot on.
I especially want to highlight the guy that they picked to be Chevy Chase. He is a fucking dead ringer for him, and he acts
He's
and talks
so good.
exactly like him.
He is
On top,
so well done.
yeah. On top of that, we have our boy Moose from Snack
Oh,
Shack, one of
yes.
our highest ranking movies of the year so far.
Gabriel
He
LaBelle is his
was
name, by the way.
Gabriel LaBelle. Watching his career with great interest. I think he's really good. He's really funny. He's
You know,
really
Snack
entertaining as
Shack wasn't
well.
the first movie we saw him in.
Is that so?
Yeah, he was in The Fablemans. He was the main character in The
Oh yeah.
Fablemans.
Oh yeah.
That was
Yeah. He
him.
was very good in that too. He was very good in that too.
He was very well. He's doing some good shit, and I'm very much excited to see what else he's going to do.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in nothing but bangers so far. Well, I mean, pretty
Yeah, I
good
mean he's
films.
only really been in I think like
Nothing
10 films
completely.
total.
Yeah. Nothing like complete stinkers that we've seen from him yet.
Oh shit, he was in iZombie at some point. That's cool.
Who wasn't?
Fair enough. That show ran long enough. But anyway,
Yeah.
but
But
no, that I do also have to say Dylan O'Brien as Dan Aykroyd was also a very good choice. He had that like
mm,
southern accent that he had. And what was that other guy? The dude who what was his name? Just the cast was great. The guy that got to play John Belushi was also a very good job. Like
very,
so
very
anyway,
close. The Billy Crystal was shockingly good.
oh, that was really good. Since it didn't actually explicitly state it, this movie is about the 90 minutes leading up to the actual broadcast. Like it starts 90 minutes beforehand. That's the whole
Yeah.
point. And it's like the actors are the comedians are fighting with each other. The script isn't finished. They don't have the entire show cut down properly. They don't have a finished anything. They're still struggling to get lighting and things done. There's like it's a hot mess. Like I've been telling people that like when I talk about this movie, if even a tenth of this movie is accurate, holy shit, was that a fucking shit show. Like, my god. Like, the thought of the fact that it made it to air at all is wild.
Yeah.
Like, they did. Uh, this movie was just a lot of fun as well. Like, it was comedy flying left and right. It was. It was just things going wrong. Like, nothing went right in this movie until literally the last, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool. I really
Yeah.
liked it.
I I probably didn't like it as much as you. I thought it was pretty good. The acting showcase was probably the highlight of the movie.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's mostly because that I've never seen any of the old seasons of SNL, so I didn't know
Original
who half the
SNL is
people
funny as
were.
fuck.
I'm sure it was, but like I didn't see any of it. So
True.
I've retroactively seen clips now and I'm like, "Oh, that would have made sense and would have been funnier if I had seen that before."
Mhm.
Like the bit where Andy like puts on the Mighty Mouse tune and then lip syncs and
Yeah.
I was like, "What?"
I thought that was funny.
I
I
didn't
hadn't
get it.
seen that clip before, but I liked it. I thought it was really funny.
Why?
I don't know. It was just kind of like he was just kind of acting kind of silly. I liked it.
Got it. And without having seen the clip in its context, when the black guy is asked to sing a song for the mic check,
Yeah, that was weird. That I didn't like.
I I was not a fan of that. And then I've seen the clip where that song came from, and I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. And in the context, it's funny because I believe it's like a prisoner trying to prove that he's fit to return to society, and he's like, and
Yeah.
sings a song, and it's like, and they're just like, yeah, no, you're staying here. You blew it. And like that's funny in context, but he's just like, no, I got a song. And
It was really funny because they set him up to be like he's gonna sing like an opera song or something like that.
no,
Well, no, because
no,
they talk about like
they said it
earlier.
was a
He's like
playwright. He wasn't gonna
he's
sing
a playwright, and
opera.
he also was like singing. He performed in some shows or whatever. And I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like so he's gonna sing
theatrically, he
like
was a
classical
playwright.
music, or he's gonna do some like classical something or whatever. But not
No,
that.
I
It wasn't
believe
expecting
the
that.
song was entitled "I'm gonna grab me a shotgun and kill all the whiteys I see," and I was like,
True.
hmm,
Yeah.
all
But
right,
that there was that, and then there was that scene that was like, I don't like that, and then there was the other one where both of us were kind of not
oh
happy about that
yeah.
scene.
I mean,
'Cause there
I don't like. I knew it was more just a middle finger to the censorship, and like, I
yeah.
don't think a lot of things should be censored either.
No.
But I mean, I understand where they're coming from, but like, it was just like a they made a really disgusting and f- laughably inaccurate depiction of Christianity, and I
More
mean,
more to the point
it,
of the
it
crucifixion of Christ as well.
right, and it wasn't even like it's not like, oh, it was funny, but you don't like it because that's you. And I'm like, no, it was just like gross and uncalled for. He just wanted to hurt that lady's feelings.
Like that's what it was. Yeah. Like comedy, it's one thing to make like offensive comedy. It's another to
Right,
write
because
jokes
like,
to personally insult like it's different to offend someone rather than just absolutely tear into everything they believe.
right, and it's not like we were hung up on that the whole movie. Like we
No,
were
I
just like,
wasn't hung
all
up on
right,
that.
that's come on, and then we moved on with the movie.
Yeah. Like that was the only
Like
really
you do with
bad parts of the
anything.
movie.
Like that's exactly how people should react to offensive jokes, offensive
Yeah.
scenes, offensive whatever. You just go like,
I didn't like that.
come on, I don't
Yeah.
like that, whatever, and then it just moves on.
Yeah.
You
There's
see people. We go to the comedy club downtown all the time,
yeah.
and you'll see like drunk assholes get really fucking butthurt about jokes, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I didn't like half the shit he said either, but
Yeah.
you fucking shut up because there's other people who paid to be here.
Exactly. There's the other one. It like I remember the joke you made, because like they do all that, and then
I
they're
don't.
all
What did I
and
make?
they're well, okay. So they do that scene, and they're like by the end of it, they're all chanting like Satan over and over again
Yeah,
or whatever. And I looked over at you, and
I
you looked
remember the
at me,
joke now.
and you said, "I mean, how else do you expect a room full of Jewish writers to act any different?" That made me laugh.
I said that to you in confidence. Now you're gonna get me put on a list. They're gonna take away my bank account.
Hey, it's turnabout's fair play. Come
Anyways,
on, it's just a joke.
different topic now. I
Anyway,
found it
I
very funny that the guy who played Jim Henson, who very good performance by the way,
yes,
was the fucking glow in the dark kid from Sky High.
yeah, he's just like told you I glow. If we can maybe turn the
Oh,
lights
like
down a
glow. I'm
bit.
like, okay. Yeah. I
No,
mean,
he's actually a really funny dude. He's been in some other stuff, but he's actually really good.
yeah. There's not a whole lot to like talk about it because
A
again,
lot of it's just like
this is
it's just fast humor.
well, no, that's no. A lot it's a true story movie. And
Yeah,
with true story movies, you can't have like plot progression like like a story. It's like this is just what happened. It's like,
yeah,
What's the relevance of the kid from No Hard Feelings smoking the banyan from the writer that looks like
It's just to add another
Larry
thing.
from smoking the weed from Larry David and then getting high off? What was the relevance? There wasn't any relevance. That's just what happened. It's just like,
Yeah.
well, why did this? That's just what happened. What was the point? That's just what happened. There was just a lot of and then this happened, which
Yeah.
I get is not a real gripe. It's just
Yo.
like when a movie is lacking that.
You can't go on about it. There's only so many things you can talk about.
Exactly. It's like right. It's like it
And
doesn't
really,
have a storyline. It's just this is what
yeah.
happened. Okay?
I
Like
mean,
things don't come back or
yeah. And it's not like it's a super thought-provoking and heart-wrenching story either.
right.
Like when we
It's just
watched
like this is what
when we
happened.
watched Iron Claw. Like when we went and saw Iron Claw,
Exactly.
we had no idea what the story was, but like it was a emotional story. It wasn't just a
Right. Like
thing.
that had like it was like a long telling of events that like led
Yeah.
up to the downfall of this entire family and
Mm.
just crushing emotions that come with it. And then it
And
did
this is
have
just 90
a
minutes.
happy ending, but
True.
this is just like, and then SNL was
We have
born,
90
and it went
minutes to make
on,
all this
and
shit happen.
it went on to be good until the 2000s,
True.
until
Dude,
very recently.
dude, like there are a lot of people who had their careers launched from SNL, which was the point of SNL, by the way. Like
Yeah,
the point of SNL was to be a
and
home
now
for
SNL is where
unknown
careers go to die.
real. But like that's what it was. Is like everyone in the cast was a complete unknown at the time. Like
Yeah.
they were just people doing funny shit around the country. And
Hmm.
now they had a place to do whatever the fuck they wanted. And
In
like
90
they just
minutes.
yeah. And it was cool to see. Like and also it was
Yeah.
like, is this how they did it every time? Like they just had a bunch of sketches they came up with and
I'm
rehearsed
pretty
and then did
sure
it?
that after the first one that they kind of hammered out the process a little more.
Well, yes, but what I'm talking about is like I can't imagine the amount of sketches they come up with for for this show. Like, especially back
Uh,
then. Like cuz again, they
yeah.
did not give a fucking shit. They did not give two fucks back then. And it's so cool. And the problem with modern day SNL is that they try
It's
to
not
go
funny.
for that. They try to go for I don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck anymore. But it just seems forced at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then, it was just funny for funny. Now it's funny to make fun of things. It was just it's
True.
whatever. Like, but
Yeah.
anyway,
I I don't have much to say about it. So
no, like again, the only real thing you could talk about with this movie is again because it's a true story
the
thing.
actors,
Is the acting? Is the people they got
the
to play the
portrayal,
cast?
all everyone portrayed everyone like very very well. The few
Yeah,
people I did know, I were fucking spitting images of them and were like
yeah,
dead on.
yeah. It was
Like
really good.
again the Billy Crystal actor, like you can hear just the tiniest little bit of Mike Wazowski in his voice, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah. Like
Kinda
he
got
did a
him.
very good job. It was so well done.
Yeah. I did not need to see J.K. Simmons' penis though.
I
That
didn't
was
need to see that.
unnecessary.
That
Didn't need to
was
see
not
that.
needed.
I didn't ask for that. I didn't sign up for that. They put a trigger warning in front of Blink twice, but they didn't put one for
Macy
J.K. Simmons'
J.K.
penis.
Simmons dick.
He's gonna be Santa this month, and I just saw his penis
Yeah,
last week.
that's not
Is
good.
that really what you want to do? Is this where we're going? Check yourself. Anyways,
Not only that it was also implied to be a very large one as well, and I didn't need to know that either.
go to your room. You're grounded. Anyways, let's move on to the
You're getting
rankings.
cold this Christmas.
Let's move on to the rankings.
Absolutely.
Uh, I'm I'm gonna give this one a pretty fair 6 out of 10. You know, it was an interesting watch. but probably not something I would, just on my own watch again. It's kind of a one and done. I think everyone did a fantastic job again with the acting and the casting. Oh my god, out of so many fucking movies having horrible casting people who don't even look anything close to the characters they're supposed to
Yeah.
portray. Uh, I'm looking at Marvel and
Real.
DC and anything that Disney owns, and nah,
I'm looking at you, fucking
it's
Snow White.
okay. It's really nice to see, like, man, these guys are dead fucking ringers for these people,
Oh,
and it's
they were.
crazy.
It was
I,
so well
I
done.
s- yeah,
Me, I'm giving this movie a 7. I actually quite like this one a lot more than I did Smile 2. It's my kind of thing. Like, I really like fast comedy and stuff like I like the show Letterkenny. Like, I like that kind of shit where it kind of just keeps coming. And
yeah,
like it's just good. Plus, again, I've always been a fan of Chevy Chase. Like, I always liked Chevy Chase. Granted, he's not a good guy. Like, I know that,
no,
but he's a
no,
funny fucking dude. He's really fucking funny. Based as shit. Like, but he's just. I always like that. Plus, I like seeing Dylan O'Brien and shit. I like to see that he got to be able to do like comedy again. Like, cause he was the like he started his career out in the show Teen Wolf, which I know is kind of an eye roll, but he's really funny. He's actually the best part of that show. I'm not even lying. Uh, and but he was also kind of like the teenage hot guy, like that. He was the guy that teenagers would swoon over, and people would focus on that and not how actually funny he is. And I'm
yeah,
glad he got to. I'm glad he got to shine that through. Plus, again, just I like see Moose. Moose was just to see him in other shit. That's the main reason we went and saw this. Like, was to
yeah,
see him
because
in
we
something.
recognized him from Snack Shack, exactly.
And he's killing it. But yeah, no, I'm giving this movie a 7. I quite enjoyed it a lot.
Cool. All right, it's we're surprisingly rushing through these pretty fast. It's going to be a pretty short podcast episode. We don't get a whole lot of those after
No.
burdening you guys with over 2 hour podcasts recently.
Yeah.
Nice to have a nice short one here. As we move on into our final movie, which we admittedly don't have much to say about, but still worth talking about, Rumours. Isaac, please take us away.
Leaders of the world's wealthiest democracies gather for the annual G7 summit to draft a provisional statement regarding a global crisis. They soon become spectacles of incompetence, contending with increasingly surreal obstacles as night falls in the misty woods and they realize they are suddenly alone. So, originally going into this movie, at least I thought, I don't know if I don't want to say we thought because I don't want to speak for you, but I thought what the plot of this movie was like world leaders come together and now zombies happen. Like a zombie apocalypse befell the earth. Like
Yeah.
I thought that's what it was. Uh Not quite, because it's still unclear what happened because I thought it was going to be world leaders fighting zombies. Instead it was them avoiding zombies for pretty
It
much
was
the
them
entire movie.
bumbling around like a bunch of morons.
That's exactly what it was. Like, even before the zombies happened, it was really funny to watch them. So,
Yeah.
and they all get together and all this stuff, and like they're talking about, yes, we need to work on the provisional statement, and we need to talk about the crisis. That yes, we all know about the crisis. Yes, yes, we do. And
Okay.
and they're like, well, let's break apart into groups and like work on this in little groups. And also they're talking like there's also the subplot of like the
God.
one dude is like in like love with one of the other ones or something.
Yeah, the candidate representative is horny as fuck, drunk as fuck,
Yeah.
crazy as fuck.
But anyway, you have that, and it's just like they're all just weird representations of their country. But they, on top of that, they get together and they're trying to talk about things, and they're sitting there like, so where do we start? What should we do? Well, we need to think about, the minorities. They don't get mentioned enough,
Yep.
and so and like,
The climate change,
climate change.
right?
Yeah, that's a
And
big thing.
then
Yep, right.
and 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 democracy
Yeah, democracy is
is a
good.
good word. That's a good
Hmm.
one. Write that down. Write that down. Japan, you had a
Yeah,
oh you had democracy too. Okay. Um and unity,
yeah,
right?
unity.
Cuz there's 7 of us and we came
Yeah,
together for the statement
the provisional
on
statement.
the crisis,
The crisis. Yes, the crisis.
which is bad.
Yeah.
And it's just like there's like a
Oh,
whole segment where it's just that they're just bumbling. It's like it's like me trying to write an essay about it's like write 2 pages on something that can be explained in a single paragraph, and it's like
real. I
the
hated those assignments. They were fucking stupid.
right, describe a tree in 4 pages. Like what? It's a brown
Yeah.
thing in the dirt, dude.
It's like that shit. But like, and it's really funny because they're just sitting there. It's like, oh yes, indubitably, and it's like, oh, and then there's the fucking American president who's British for some
Yeah,
reason.
I have no idea why he's got a British accent that per the rules of America that should not be allowed.
No, it shouldn't.
I I'm only 50% sure. I don't even know if I heard him right, but I think the Italian guy asked him what's up with the accent, and the president was just like, never mind.
Yeah,
Or he was
basically.
like, never mind. And I'm like, it's not an what? I don't know. But I
Oh,
thought it was, kind of interesting how the president of the United States was an old man who fell asleep all the time and then mumbled about, American secrets in his sleep. I'm like, who does that remind
mhm.
you of?
But no, it
Where
was
could
just
they
odd.
ever get this kind of caricature?
Like they had all these weird things pop up, like because it was like it wasn't zombies, it was like these bog people or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the first time we saw it, because they're like stumbling through like the woods or whatever, and they come across like a circle of them around a fire, and they're like,
Right.
what's going on here? What are they doing? And they think that they're all like just chanting or something.
They're not chanting.
And it's like them just like jacking off in a circle.
Yeah, these zombies posed like no threat because all they did was jack off.
They jacked off and stood there. And that was it. That was all they had.
Yeah. I want to preface this. I have no fucking clue what this movie's about.
No.
I don't know what the message is if it's not, political incompetence of our leaders. Other than that, I have no idea what they're meant to say by this. I don't know why the zombies are there. I don't know why the giant brain was there. I don't know why the world fucking exploded at the end. I don't
fucking
understand this.
the fucking brain. Shall we talk about the brain, Kellen?
Yeah, yeah. If you see this, I think that the highlight of this movie, the absolute funniest line, was spoken by the French Prime Minister. It was the funniest shit I've heard in the entire movie.
Dude, you fucking died. You actually
I
did.
died for a solid minute because that's such a brilliant fucking joke with how retarded it is. There's a gigantic brain, like the size of like a fucking Prius, out in the middle of the woods, and they stumble across it. the French prime minister, he's kind of like loopy out of his mind because of whatever
Yeah.
happened, and he's like he's looking at it and he's like, I think it's a woman's brain. And then they're just like, what makes you say that? And he goes, well, because it's slightly smaller than what a giant man's brain would be. And I'm like, giant is an umbrella term for anything bigger than what it should be. If you had a brain the size of a beach ball, that would be giant. If you had a brain the size of Mount Everest, that would also still fall under the category of giant. So, so how could you say? Like, what if
Oh my god.
how can it's equally well, if a man's brain was that size, it would be bigger. What? What? And I mean, I get, yeah, biologically, like, and don't at me on this, okay? I fucking looked up the science. Biologically, a man's brain is about like 170 grams more mass than the female
Mhm.
brain. So like so you get that kind of like, oh, anatomy wise, like the
Like
man
that's
brain
the
would be
joke
bigger.
they're going
But like
for.
but like Well, it's not even that. It's like it's smaller than what a big man's brain would be. Like, how are you measuring bigness? How do you know how big a man's brain would be in this
Oh, it's
scenario?
so
This has
funny.
never happened in the history of the world. It's so brilliant because it's so hard to like explain how that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there's also a whole scene in the movie that was just odd. I can't remember why
Oh,
this
there was
happened.
one scene in the movie that was
Okay.
odd.
But no, but the weird one was I can't remember exactly how it came about, but they started getting messages in the middle of this apocalypse
Oh,
from a bot that they said, well, so they didn't know
it
if it
was
really
not
was a bot.
confirmed to be a bot at this
No,
point.
well, no, at this point, yeah. So at this point, they get a message from what is presumably a small girl that was left, like a 12-year-old girl that was left alone at the estate. They are like, this may be, now I'm not certain, but this might be the
There's
bot
a
that we
strong.
put together, the AI
There's a
bot that we made to catch predators. So in order for it to respond to us, like if we can get it, like register us as that, it'll call the police and they'll come and get us. So
yeah.
now we need to
They
come
had to,
on to this
they,
12-year-old in a way
they
that
had to
isn't
walk. They had to walk a tightrope because on one hand, if it is the AI bot, they have they have to make it call the police on them so someone will help. But if it's not an
Right.
AI bot, you're sending explicit text to a child.
So on the one hand, if it is the bot, you want it to be enough to call the police, but on the other hand, you want it to not be enough to traumatize a small child.
Right. So they're just like, I can't wait to see you. He's like, that's right, right? Like
Because they're
they're giving
talking
like
about
tips
it, and
like,
they're like,
well,
well, we should add in this, for the bot.
yeah, say yeah, mention say, don't worry your pretty little head. Like make sure to say that. Like be like creepy but not too creepy, something that could be understood as normal. It's like, come on, you know.
It's so dumb, but like I've been thinking about it a lot because it's really funny. Like it's
Yeah,
stupidly
just write
funny.
write something Brian Peck would say.
But it's just it was
It
it
was
was
the
just
bot, by
really
the way. It was the bot.
it was the bot, but yeah, it was the bot. But it was
But the
just
line Isaac was getting to was because like they were like, don't worry, we're on our way. And it's like, don't say honey, say sweetie, or do something along that lines.
yeah,
Like make it more flirty. And then they look at it and she's like, for the bot,
for the
for the
bot.
bot,
For the
for
bot.
the bot.
It's just
And Isaac's been saying for the bot.
I like it. It's funny.
To which I'm questioning the times he chooses to bring that up in conversation, because for the bot, what you're doing for the bot is acting more like a pedophile for the bot.
That is fair.
So perhaps maybe that's not the bit from the movie that you should add into your lexicon.
It's
Uh,
slightly smaller than what a giant man's brain would be. Like
doesn't
it
make
fucking,
any
dude, it's
sense.
such a throwaway
How do you
joke in the
how
movie. It's
how
such
do
a
you know
throwaway
how
line.
big a giant man's brain would be? Giant
That
is not a
The other
specific
thing that made
term.
you laugh, I remember, is like, so they get to the end of the movie and they're talking about like, so this AI bot is
I don't
supposedly
remember
writing the
laughing at the end of the
provisional.
movie, but go ahead.
Well, no, but like, so the AI bot like apparently writes their provisional statement for them, and like they're all like, they're like, oh, we're all gonna die here, kind of thing or whatever, and like the Canada dude just gets together and takes the little bits from all of the random shit that they were talking about and like slaps
Yeah.
it together and gives this like big eloquent like he's actually saying shit, but he's not. He's just like saying nonsense. Cause
Yeah.
like like one of them was going on about building the biggest sundial in the world. like
Yeah.
but
And we will
anyway, so
come
they're talking about
together.
this and and you were laughing because while they're giving this speech, it cuts out and you see like the zombies kind of congregating and it's one zombie just jacking off behind a tree. And I remember you just kind of laughing at that.
This is so stupid.
It's so
Do
dumb.
you know do you know what's incredibly fun the funniest thing about this movie?
What?
Is that this is now I have not seen I've not dug deep into this, but if it's just the two, I don't know if there's any more, but if it's just the two, this might be Kate Blanchett's best movie this year. And it's the one about the mud zombies jacking themselves off.
True. That is true, because I think this is the only other thing she's slated to be in this year. They're doing a quick check. Yeah,
'Cause
that's all she's in.
spoilers for the rankings, but this definitely was better than Borderlands. I have
Oh,
no idea
absolutely.
what the purpose of this movie is. I have no idea what the ending means. I have no idea what the beginning and middle mean. But the jokes, some of them were funny.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I got to a point where I was like, man, I don't think if I was like 2 years younger than when I am now, and if I didn't pay attention to the news as much as I did, I don't think I would understand a whole lot of these jokes.
Yeah, like I was looking at it. I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes scores for this movie, and like the critic score is like 80%, and the audience is like 27.
Like, damn, am I up my own ass? Am I a critic now? No, this
I
movie's
found
not
myself
great.
laughing at a lot of it. Yeah, it's not a
It's
good
in between.
movie.
No, the whole plot is terrible. Everything that happens on screen, I have no idea what's going on, and I hate it. But
I
like the
only remember the
jokes
jokes.
were funny. I will admit, I laughed more than I thought I was going
It
to.
was laughably bad. It was laughably bad.
I wouldn't even say it was bad. I was just thinking it's confusing. I don't get it.
True.
It was funny though.
It was
And
funny.
with that, I think we should move on to the rankings. If one could even rank such a film, I will
True.
give it. I believe. Here I'm gonna double check. Why don't you go first? I gotta
All right.
double check what I gave this.
Oh, that's fair. Me, I'm giving this movie like a 5 out of 10. Like, it wasn't a good
Yeah.
movie. I was gonna give it a 6 originally, like a low 6, just because the jokes were fucking. Actually, you know what? I will do that. It's probably be my lowest 6 that I'll have, Because it wasn't a meh movie. It wasn't. I genuinely enjoyed my time watching this movie. It's a low 6 because it isn't a movie. It was just something to go and laugh at. But like
True.
outside of that, it was all right. You know, it
Yeah.
was funny.
I just double checked. I did in fact also give this a 6. I put it in between Maxine and Monster Summer.
That's fair.
It was around there. Yeah, but yeah, I didn't get a whole lot of it. I don't think the director got a whole lot of it. But
Oh,
I think a lot of the portrayals were amusing. I had a few of the jokes were actually pretty funny.
the
I don't
yo,
believe I'd ever. I don't believe I'd ever buy this movie. I don't even think
no.
I'd ever see it again. But I think I might.
It might be something to like sit down and bro, watch this
I
because it's
might
weird.
recommend it to someone. Be like, hey, if you like weird, stupid shit and like jokes that only barely make sense but still get you, you might want to check out Rumors. But like, I don't know. It's kind of a mess, but at least it's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that should wrap up here for the podcast. Isaac, next time, would you like to spill the beans on what we'll be taking a look at here?
Absolutely. Next time we should have the new Venom movie. We will have the movie Here, a Tom Hanks movie that we've I don't know much about the movie itself, but
Yeah.
but the idea of it is kind of cool. And then Andrew Garfield's new movie We Live in Time. We're
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield fans here on the channel. I mean, I like him.
All the white women in Wisconsin have been buying up all the seats to that movie. So it's been out for a while, but now
Yeah.
that it's finally dying down, we can finally get some seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We might
Interesting
have some
lineup.
extra stuff thrown in there possibly, but we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, November's a bit of a mixed bag because it's after all the Halloween stuff is done with, but
But it's before
everyone
like
knows
the December shit.
before the December movies where everyone for winter break and for the Christmas movie season and
Yeah.
and you know like it's the last month of the year to get your Oscar nomination movies in. So like
Exactly.
December, the summer and December are the big months for movies. So November's a really weird time, but we'll see take a look and see what we have. Um Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe because it keeps us going back to the theaters and keeps us making these videos for you. Be sure to check out our letterboxd up over our heads. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap.
Roll credits.
This man. To tell Isaac, are you ready to record the podcast? He says yes. He gets his drink, he sets up his mic and stuff, and then we're in the middle of the podcast, and he's got to get up and piss. And you're not ready, are you? You're not ready. Guys, feel free to leave an insult for Isaac down below. I'll make sure he reads every single one of them. This is revenge for him having to make me edit the podcast even further than I have to because of his recklessness and refusal to pee before the podcast starts.